A little while ago, some forward-thinking economists were trashing GDP as a measure of our health.
GDP?
Gross domestic product, or other terms similarly full of obfuscation and error. I'm wondering if you think this is part of the problem. It's got us into a mindset. And if there's any progress into getting a better measure of our well-being. I mean, I like your...
Well, there are a couple of layers, you know, there are a couple of layers to that. First of all, human beings are very good at measuring things. That's something we've gotten very good at. Unfortunately, that has led us down a very dangerous path of becoming hostages to a culture of quantification. So that, in this case, we only understand things through econometrics. To make things even more complex or mischievous or difficult, the econometrics that are gathered and given to us by the Bureau of Labor Statistics and other government agencies are generally very cooked. They're not true. They're not truthful. They're false. So not only are we hostages to econometrics, but to econometrics using false figures. So it's no surprise that we don't understand anything that's happening to us. The astonishing thing is that more people don't complain about it.
Well, I'm thinking it's just such a mischievous figure. It includes, if I want to contribute to it, I'm better to be having cancer, getting a divorce, hiring lawyers, doing all this stuff contributes to it, but that is not a measure of welfare. I like your term productive activity, fruitful activity.
Either way, they're both okay.
Is there some measure by which we can tell when we're improving productive activity?
It will be self-evident when we do. And I would just encourage you not to get hung up on which measurement you're going to use. Just because our measurements have failed us for the last 20 years or so, and because we have foolishly not fixed our methodology, doesn't mean that we should get hung up on whatever false methodologies we've been using. You know, they're transparently false. We know that the employment figures are cooked. We know the GDP figures are ridiculous based on hedonics and weird things that don't represent the production of any things of value. So, you know, anybody with an education knows this now. It's not really news. What's news is that we're still going through the motions pretending that they're meaningful. But we're going through a lot of motions pretending things are meaningful.
There's no movement to change this.
Well, there hasn't been, but you know, I suggest that, what you're seeing in the transition between Mr. Bush and Mr. Obama, among other things, because it will be many, many things. You know, one is a great national constipation that has given us a very big headache for years now, and it's made us kind of dazed and confused. And when this transition occurs, I think we're going to start seeing some different methodologies. It doesn't mean that, by the way, that the national government is going to be effective. You know, whether or not Mr. Obama is a thoughtful and decent person, which I believe he is, doesn't necessarily mean that the federal government is going to be able to manage our problems. And that, of course, is an important distinction to make. And it bears on your reasons for meeting here. Because whether or not it becomes necessary for you to be truly self-sufficient, even in governance, as well as anything else you might need in the way of daily goods, whether you'll be in need of governance is really unknown at this point. But we have reason to believe that the national government simply may not be competent or have enough resources or ability to manage the things that are going to be problems for us locally.
Obama was supported by the coal industry. what is your take about his clean coal cow pie?
Well, the green coal program, like many programs, clean. Oh, clean coal. Well, clean, green, either way. Because if this process is the same, and it's particularly true of coal because coal produces a lot of smoke, right? And what we're doing really is blowing green smoke up our rear ends. This is now the main activity in you know, on the PR front in corporate America. And it remains to be seen, I think, what the new gang's disposition will really be to that. It may be more reality-based than you imagine. You know, I want to make one thing really clear. Something I may have said 2 years ago, but it's, I think, important to repeat. This has unfortunately become a pretty non-reality-based society. There's a lot of wishful thinking going on. There's a lot of delusional thinking, even among the well-intentioned people, even among the good guys. For example, I went to the Aspen Environmental Conference thrown by the Aspen Institute in April, and many of the big wheels of environmentalism were there. And practically the only thing they wanted to talk about in regard to this set of problems was all the nifty new ways that we could run cars on things other than gasoline or diesel fuel. And you know, to me, this really represents a very dangerous form of cluelessness among a group of people who can't afford to be that clueless. Because what they're saying essentially is that we can continue to be a car-dependent society, when that's probably the core, the kernel of the issue. We can't continue to be a car-dependent society any way you look at it. And the fact that the best intentioned, some of the best educated and most intelligent and even valorous people in our society are preoccupied with this is very tragic. But the delusional thinking, all of this is meant to say that a lot of our delusional thinking is now centering on the issue of alternative energy. And basically what people want to hear is people are clamoring for solutions. But being on the road for many, many, many months, I've discovered what they're asking for a solution to. They're asking for a solution to keep on living exactly the way we're living now. And that's the one thing we're not going to be able to do. So I'm very suspicious of the word solutions, and when I go around, I try to convey the idea that we should be talking about intelligent responses to this set of problems, because they may not necessarily be the kinds of solutions that people are interested in. Did you want something? Okay. Anyway, are we done now? Okay. The important thing that I meant to say was that we're going to be disappointed by what these alternative fuels can do for us. We're going to use everything we can, probably, but we're going to be disappointed by what they can do. We're not going to run Walt Disney World, the interstate highway system, and Walmart on any combination of alternative fuels, not on clean coal or tar sands or used French fried potato oil or ethanol or biodiesel or algae fuel or any of the things that we're preoccupied with. We are in a mentality now of techno-grandiosity, techno-triumphalism, and it's a very dangerous state of mind. So I want to leave you with that, as well as the idea that being hostage to econometrics is just the other side of the coin of being a victim of techno-grandiosity. So good luck to you all out there, and we will ride again.